Welcome back, gamers, to a special episode of the Slow Runcast. I am
The Switch 2 cast.
the Switch 2 cast.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
that is
Nintendo
right.
shells now.
Yeah, for all those hating on the price, I would have paid more. Make me pay more, Nintendo.
They did make you pay more.
They did, yeah. I am your host, the Iraqi Balboa, joined by my friend and co-host, the Derwinator, or for this episode, as we prefer to call him, the Switchinator. Derwin Luke, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if the Switchinator is the best name.
No, but I made it up on the spot.
You're gonna cause some controversy, some Dragon Age Avail controversy.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, people are going to stop watching this podcast because they're going to think you're woke. Derwin.
No.
So it is Tuesday, June 10th. We've been on hiatus for important reasons. We haven't recorded yet this week, but it is approximately like 1 day shy and 2 hours or 3 hours of when we got hold of the Switch 2s. 1 day shy of a week. That made grammatically no sense. So we got our Switch 2s. Let's see it, Derwin. Let's see it.
Oh yeah.
Is Nintendo gonna flag this?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. What game do I have on here?
Mario
Nothing.
Kart on. Oh, nice. Well, yeah, I screwed up. So it's here, man. Finally, we've been waiting for like 5 years.
Yeah.
It almost
Jeez,
feels like
it feels
at least
forever.
yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
oh, there's the mouse control. I finally used the mouse control after you brought it up. Oh,
Nice. Are you using the mouse right now? Like using the Joy-Con?
I'm trying. Do you see it? I
Yeah.
can't see anything. Oh yeah, you see that mouse?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've had lots of time with our Switches. I think that's the only thing I've been playing for the whole week.
That is also the only thing I've been playing. We've had about, as I said earlier, a week minus 26 hours with our Switch 2s. So we lined up in front of EB Games, Sunridge Mall location for the midnight release, which is technically 10 p.m. Mountain Time when they let us through. Some crazy line, but we finally got it around 11 o'clock. He came back to my house. We started it up. We transferred our data from our old console, and we booted up Mario Kart and played for a couple of hours. We've had a week to play with this thing. Derwin, off the top of your head, early impressions, your thoughts. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to turn the light, but you could talk.
Yes. So, first impressions, it's a great console. There's no doubt about it being a great console in terms of an upgrade for the Switch 2. I don't think I'm dissatisfied with any of the things in terms of ergonomics, the screen itself, the speakers. What really affects my take on it is just like the price of things. But in general, if they had released this at any price point, they're still going to sell units. I just wish it was just a little bit more affordable in the long run of things.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it so far. Like, we can get to like what we've tried and what we've played, but first impressions, the thing that stands out the most to me is actually not the screen.
What is it?
It's the speakers. I think the speakers sound great on it.
They do. I'm not that sensitive of a sound guy. Like, I'm not that much of a sound guy. It's not the first thing I noticed.
So this is the scenario that I was very blown away at it. Like I normally play it at like a decent volume. But when I actually had my sister and brother-in-law over, my mom was on the TV, so we had the tiny screen propped up, and I had the volume maxed out, and it sounded great. It didn't sound tinny. It didn't sound really bad at all. Like it sounded really good.
I guess I haven't played that much with the audio. To be honest with you, I've mostly played docked, so I don't know 100%.
Oh, okay. So we'll have a very different experience.
I think I've played a little bit handheld. I'm playing handheld right now, actually, just before we got on. But the thing that for sure stood out to me is how good the thing looks docked and in handheld, at least with the HDR. And this LCD screen is a good screen. Like this is, I know there were concerns about this not being an OLED like the OLED Switch,
Mhm.
and this being a downgrade screen wise. I don't know if that's true. This is a very good LCD screen.
Oh, I
The
have
colors are
no
amazing.
issues at all with the screen. I think it
Yeah.
looks great.
It yeah. So I guess like from high level, it's very hard to kind of like talk about this, but from a high level, this really is a number two. This is the difference between, and maybe even less, the difference between like a PS4 and a PS5. It's like the
Mhm.
next thing, right? It
Yes.
really isn't anything like Nintendo has done before. This is not Wii to Wii U. This is not Wii U to Switch. This is not GameCube to Wii. This is not N64 to GameCube. This is very much feels like an iterative upgrade. And that may be great for people, may not be great for other people, but it is an improvement in all regards. The store is finally functional. The
But yeah,
screen
that
we've
was a
talked about.
huge, like
Yeah,
scrolling that
was
store and being able to find things.
yeah. The screen, the Joy Cons. I mean, listen, man. I could do this all day. I could snap these Joy Cons back onto the console all day. This is the most satisfying, like ergonomic, like cool ass way to connect your Joy Cons. Compared to before,
Mhm.
this is like, and the magnet is super strong. You have to press the release buttons. I love
Yeah,
it.
I don't
feel
think
like
I
this.
was able to even pull it. Oh, you can, but it's very very hard.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really good magnet. Yeah, I don't even know what. Like, I haven't even tried.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you
it
go.
doesn't
It's
feel like it's gonna fall off, even if you have it in your bag. I actually did have it in my bag without a carrying case, because I was just going into office, and yeah, no, the Joy-Con stayed in there. No issues whatsoever with it.
yeah. Again, it's like it feels like a very good iterative upgrade in all regards. The dock. Now we already know the dock actually gives the thing a little bit more power and it has a fan and it has an Ethernet cable to connect directly, which was not there in the original Switch. I believe it was in the OLED
It was in the
version.
OLED. Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
OLED.
There's I think more USB A and USB C ports. The thing itself has a USB C port on top, which is great
Mhm.
for playing while charging
Yeah,
compared to before.
I love the port on top. I play in bed sometimes, and to have
Yeah.
it there and not underneath, so
To be able
convenient.
to charge is so convenient. Yeah. The stand is a lot better than the original Switch stand. Still not the best, but yeah. Again, we don't know anything about Joy-Con drift or anything like that, but I love these Joy-Cons. I love the size. The other ones felt way too small.
Yeah,
Um,
so it is confirmed that they used some of the older parts for the Joy-Con, so it can drift. Again, I've never had issues with it. Some people have. But the reason why they didn't use Hall effect Joy-Cons or joysticks is because of the magnet. Like it
magnets.
apparently doesn't work well
It
with.
would make sense. Yeah, you have two electromagnetic waves now interfering with each other. Yeah, I mean, this is the Switch that I feel like I wanted in 2020. Right?
Yes,
This
I
maybe
agree.
not 2020. That's fine. Maybe this is the Switch that I really felt like I wanted by at least 2022 or 2023. Yeah, it is kind of late to the game. I mean, a welcome
Hmm.
upgrade nonetheless. Again, of course, the price tag is something to deal with. We're kind of court gamers. We're kind of crazy. This is our hobby. We're gonna dish out the bucks for stuff less than this, right? Um, but I don't know. It's wonderful. The mouse controls we didn't try, but when you came over, but we've tried them now. They work
Hmm.
very functional. I did try to connect a mouse similar to what we saw in that
That tech
gameplay
demo,
tech demo from the Nobunaga something
Nobunaga's
ambition
ambition.
developer. Yeah. Where they connected an actual mouse. I could not get it to work. We tried to connect a regular webcam for the game chat when you were over. That also didn't seem to be working, and we've gotten reports since then that the compatibility thing is kind of hit and miss with the third-party webcams. We haven't figured out exactly what it is, but some of them are working, some of them are not. I imagine maybe the same situation with the mouse. Um, but yeah, so still, I'm not really sure how that's gonna work. Um, I mean, Otherwise, I do really want to talk about this. I bought a Pro controller, a Switch 2 Pro controller, along with the Switch. It's expensive. It's 110 Canadian dollars. That makes it more expensive than a DualSense or an Xbox controller, even after the upgrade. Sounds a little crazy. Sounds like maybe I should have bought a third-party controller.
Okay, we do have to put into context that it's more expensive than their base controllers, right? Their
Yes,
Elite
correct.
Series 2 controller and the what is it? PS
The PS5
Pro?
DualSense,
Yeah.
DualSense. No, PS. There's DualSense Edge, I think it's called.
Well, yes, DualSense Edge controller. Those are $200.
Those are $200.
Yes.
I don't think this is that. That's not that level of Pro controller. And we also have to keep in mind, Derwin, that the Joy-Cons, which are technically their base controller, buying a second set of those is like 130 Canadian dollars. So it's technically more expensive than the Pro controller. Also have to keep in mind, I never owned a Switch 1 Pro controller. I don't know how they feel like. So I don't know. But this is kind of long-winded, prologue to what I want to say. This thing is insane. This might be my favorite controller at this point. The button presses on this controller are something I've never seen before. I am so shocked. They feel so good. I can pick this thing up and just press the buttons all day. Like, the button presses feel so smooth. The triggers, the bumpers, like, it's such a different feeling than the PS5 or the Series X controller. Like, remember when you were complaining about Claire Obscure saying that the Xbox controller, like, I felt like you would have had a better chance playing with this thing.
I'm sure I would have. So
Yeah.
I did get a chance to play around with yours when I was over that night.
Yeah.
The button feel is definitely a lot better. And then I went back to the original Switch Pro controller because I do have one, and yeah, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade all around.
Yeah, and I'd like to note that this controller has back paddles, and to be honest with you, I love the way they implemented these back paddles versus the PS5 ones and the Xbox ones. Having them monolithic with the handles of the controller, I think, are just better. And I wish there was I know I don't really need it, but having a second one would be nice too. But just having one on either side, these back paddles are like perfect. Their placement, the way they're just not on the back sticking out like the Xbox one, and the way they're like, flush with the controller is great. My only gripe with this is I do feel like this controller is a tad bit small for my hands. And I don't have crazy big hands. I wish this part just went out a little bit more because I feel like there's a gap between my hand when I'm holding it properly and in between kind of the handles. Yeah. That's my only gripe with this thing.
Yeah. I think my gripe was that I felt like the paddles were a little bit too easy to press for accidental bumps and presses.
Yes. Yeah. I have not tried it with a game where I'm worried about that. I've tried it with Mario Kart, and I basically just switch my triggers to these back paddles, and all that changes is my drifting and my items. So if I press the trigger instead or press the paddle, it doesn't matter really that much. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I love this controller so much. And I love this console. I wish I bought a carrying case with me so I could kind of maybe, play with it on the go. But yeah, I also bought the wheels for Mario Kart, which you laughed at me, and I'll go grab them, show them. Yeah, I had the Switch 1 ones, but the Switch 2 ones are obviously slightly bigger to match the Joy-Cons. I love these things. Not for me so much. I don't care. They're more for my son, and I feel like I have finally found a replacement to Astrobot for my son.
Well, yeah, no more saying this.
I have 150 hours on Astrobot on my PS5. It is my third most played game, according to my PlayStation, behind Battlefield 1 and Elden Ring.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because of my son. So I have discovered this, and thankfully, Mario Kart has motion controls and has auto acceleration. All I have to do, and he naturally, when I saw him playing Mario Kart without these, he was already doing this with his steering wheel, the same way a little kid does that with any controller. Like, I remember going over to my uncle's house when I was a kid, and he had a PS1, and he'd put a racing game on for me, and I'd sit there with the controller doing this, and he'd like hold my hand. He's like, dude, like, it's not reacting to your steering wheel. You just use the stick. Yeah, so
Now you got to
He
get your
loves
uncle
this.
over so that he can do that to your son and be like, "No, you're wrong."
Yeah. And then he's like, actually, I'm right. This thing has motion. So yeah, it has motion controls and auto accelerate on Mario Kart on, and he just sits like this and drives the car around on free roam and loves it. So
Mhm.
yeah, those are the accessories I bought. I didn't buy the camera. I didn't buy any of the carrying case. I didn't buy additional Joy-Cons. You didn't get anything besides the console, did you?
I only got the console and then I got the screen protectors for us because
Yeah.
I am waiting for a more ergonomic way to play in handheld mode. I never play Switch 2 docked or Switch docked. So to me, like the accessories that matter is like a very good traveling case. I haven't found one that I really liked. And then on top of that, just like a horror gamepad or something like that to make my handheld experience elevated.
Okay. Yeah. You did remind me of something that I want to discuss over on the Switch. Um, I do, of course, I have a Steam Deck, so I couldn't help but compare the two. Uh,
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say
I'm gonna go
if
grab my
both of
Steam
them
Deck right
fell
now.
into a lake, which one are you gonna go save?
That's a tough question. I'm gonna grab the Steam Deck right now. I'm back. So I guess I want to preface this by saying the Steam Deck is superior to hold in handheld for sure. I mean, the Steam Deck over here, the handles on the back are very comfortable to hold on for like extended period of time while playing handheld. Like it's meant to play handheld exclusively, really.
Mhm.
Even though the Steam Deck comes with like a dock that you could buy separately, the real purpose is to play handheld. The Steam Deck also is probably heavier than the Switch 2, but it doesn't feel that way because of the weight distribution on the thing. The weight feels because the Steam Deck's thicker than the Switch 2. I feel like the weight is distributed more evenly across the thing, and it doesn't feel as strenuous to hold it for extended period of time, right? The Switch feels more compact, and as a result, the weight like feels heavier
Mhm.
depending on how you hold it
And
in some
also,
ways.
my other gripe is because I play handheld a lot, not having like the hold for your hands. I find that
Exactly.
after a while, like
It
I've
hurts
done
the
like 2 or
wrists.
3 hour play sessions, and yeah, it does hurt like your my elbows and also like kind of hand placement. The Switch
Yeah,
one, don't get me wrong, is way worse than that. Like I remember playing Stardew Valley on Switch One, and like I felt like my hands were completely cramping.
yeah. But the Switch one is smaller and lighter, so the improvement maybe on the Joy Cons I don't think is going to outweigh the lack of ergonomics on this thing when it comes to holding it
Hmm.
in handheld for extended period of time. So I can't help but notice that right off the bat. Um, I understand Nintendo has different design constraints than what Valve had with the Steam Deck. Nintendo is making a hybrid docked, like, handheld plus fold on, open up on the table, uh, and play, use it as like a moving TV. It serves a lot of functionality, and the Joy-Cons have to come off, and to take them off, you'd have to have them feel a certain way, holding them this way as well, in addition to holding them vertically. So I understand the Switch is
Hmm.
trying to do like more, and as a result, it has some design constraints on what it could do for like. Whereas the Steam Deck is sole purpose is to be able to play handheld. That's what it's designed for. And it's not really designed for these things. Like these things don't come off the side and then you could, play with your family or something. That's not how it works. This is not really a multiplayer console, right? It's a handheld console. You could buy the dock separately so you can connect the mouse and keyboard and play on a monitor, or connect your controller and play on a TV, connect it to the TV, same way the Switch is docked, or, use the dock as kind of like a stand and connect the controller elsewise. But yeah, the use is slightly different. I know they're comparable, it's slightly different. Um, I do want to mention, which I was not aware from when we bought the Switch, is the screen on the Switch 2 is actually larger than the Steam Deck's screen.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it
Okay.
is. I don't know. It's very hard to see here,
Yeah,
but
it
I'm
is.
trying to
It
line up the top.
definitely is.
It is
It's
larger.
wider.
It is longer and wider, actually. I'm holding it. Yeah, I'm holding them up against each other, and I am shocked because I was like, when I saw the Steam OLED screen, I was like, holy, this is huge. And then when the Switch, I was holding the Switch handheld, I'm like, whoa, dude, this is like a lot. And yeah, so it's crazy. I mean, as far as screen goes, I have not like, started up the exact same game to
Oh,
compare the
to
OLED
compare
to the
side by
LCD.
side.
Yeah, right. I'd have to buy the same game and see what they would look like. And I'm sure there's comparisons on that online from like Digital Foundry or whatever. But I did not notice like such a downgrade for being an LCD on the Switch. It looks
Mhm.
just as good.
Yeah,
And
no,
the HDR on the docked mode, holy smokes! Like
yeah,
it finally
it's a real
looks like,
treat.
yeah, it finally. I had to change the home color from whites to darks, like the home screen and the store color,
Yeah,
because the
because it's
HDR
so
was
bright.
so bright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the blacks I'm sure are super nice and black.
Well, it's like if you change the theme to black on the back, it just becomes like grayish. It's not
Yeah,
a
yeah,
pure
but on your
black.
TV, it must look
It's nice.
amazing.
It's very
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, and it's like lighter on the eyes.
yeah.
So
Okay, big thing, battery life. What do you think about battery life for this thing?
I haven't played it handheld enough to know.
Okay.
But so I don't have an answer. There is a setting on the Switch which I recommend everybody who has a Switch to go do it right now. It stops it from charging to 100%, which will help your battery life in the long run. So you can't overcharge it and keep it there, for too long. Just a thought for anyone. The Steam Deck just came out with an update for that setting as well recently.
hmm
So I don't know yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can comment on it a bit. Yeah, the battery drains fast, especially with like the Switch 2 titles, I think. Well, I only have the one.
Mario Kart.
But yeah, I do notice that Mario Kart does drain my battery a lot quicker than Luigi's Mansion 3, which is what I'm currently like reinvesting some time in. But it's expected. It's a lot more power. I would almost trade it off and say that's a fair trade off compared to the Switch one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I know like a lot of these handheld consoles, they're coming out and they're saying they could do more. I imagine if you're playing like a Switch 1 title that's like less, demanding, you'll be okay. But if you're playing Cyberpunk 2077, I think I mean, even on some other handheld consoles like the Steam Deck and, the Lenovo Legion Go and the Asus ROG Ally, like
Mhm.
stuff like Cyberpunk kills the battery. So don't expect like that you're going to be able to play Cyberpunk for 8 hours on a Switch
Yeah,
2.
exactly.
I mean, otherwise, really, it really is the Switch 2. It really is. I wish this upgrade came sooner. I kind of stopped playing my Switch, to be honest with you, for the last several years. Like, I exclusively use it for first-party Nintendo games and for, like, that's really it. The last game I played on it that wasn't like a Mario Party. Like, I just get every Mario Party for when friends or family are over. But the last game I played on it was Super Mario Wonder
Mhm.
from 2023. So it's been a while. But yeah, I finally feel like it's there. It's back to a point where I feel like okay, maybe I want to buy this game on Switch instead of Steam Deck, or buy it on Switch instead of PS5 or Series X, right?
Yeah, it's not a well now it's a price comparison.
It's a price comparison, really. It really is. It's like, do I want to? And then I got to think about it. It's like, well, how much does it cost on this versus this? Do I want to play it multiplayer? If it's multiplayer, do I want to play it online? If it's online, right? So maybe I play it online on PlayStation 5 because I already have, online subscription there instead of buying the Nintendo Switch online subscription,
Mhm.
So it's a min-max kind of thought of what I really want to do.
Yeah,
Did you have any other high-level impressions of the console itself? And then we'll get into the games we're playing on it.
I think that's more or less it right now for high level impressions. I think storage size is fine for a first
It's
console.
okay for now.
Like
Yeah.
we did run into some interesting characters on a midnight. Oh, I want to talk about the midnight launch as well.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So there's obviously very interesting characters that obviously will use the full like storage plus more. I mean, we're not those people.
Derwin is trying to say that on the midnight launch, the people in line were a bunch of nerds, a bunch of rotten nerds, and they were exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Sometimes
higher
when I'm in
level
those lineups-
is storage. I don't think storage is a bit an issue right now for us, but I think later in the line
We'll see.
maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
256 gigs is tight.
It is tight depending on how big the games you're playing will be. But yeah, let's talk about Midnight Launch. This is the first one in feels like
Card.
years,
Jeez,
right?
where's my card? One sec, where's my card?
Oh, mine's in my gym bag.
I found it. Look at that. Look what we got. This is evidence. I was here for the Nintendo Switch. What? System launch 2025. Switch 2. Beautiful. I'm going to frame that and grade it PSA 10.
Mine's no longer PSA 10. Mine's actually in my gym bag. I keep forgetting to bring it in. What other swag do you have right beside you that we got?
I got the something. They gave us something else when we were in line there. I don't even know what it is. This is microfiber.
Yeah, so that's a microfiber cloth, and we also got a lanyard.
I didn't get one.
Oh, you didn't get one?
No.
Well, it sucks to be you, man.
Yeah. Well, I got the wheels. Well, I paid for that.
You paid for that, sucker.
Yeah. So we went there at like what? You got there a little bit earlier than me, and I was there about maybe an hour before, and you were about an hour and a half before the launch, and so we were maybe like 30th, 40th in line. I want to say maybe 30th in line. We got it about at 11 o'clock. Like you said, exactly. Everybody in that line was a bunch of nerds. So I was always like, am I the only cool gamer there is, or am I a nerd too? So I don't know. I might be a nerd.
Yeah, I think in some aspect we're all nerds, but yeah, it was very interesting to see some of these characters come out and talk with some of them. Yeah,
we met one who was talking smack about Claire Obscure Expedition 33, to which point I warned him in line to watch his words carefully. We also met an individual, I did not get his name actually, but who also runs a platform here out of Calgary, Analog Stick Gaming. He has a website, so check that out. And a podcast as well, but I don't know. It might be if you search up Analog Stick. I'm shouting him out here for free now. Now the audience is going to go find his podcast, and it's going to be better than ours. But yeah, so and then we went with your friend Alex, of course. Yeah, so
yeah, it was good stuff. We have a bunch of videos of us unboxing, so I'll leave some clips at the very end.
Unboxing pictures.
We got some sick pictures of Mo.
Yeah, pictures in line.
The more I look at those photos, maybe we are the nerds that we are.
Oh, I'm a nerd, 100%. What the hell? I don't give a shit. I am what I am. But the best was you paying up front for your console, and me and Alex only paying the deposit that you needed at EB Games, no longer GameStop in Canada, which they proudly told us when we were in line. We're proudly Canadian now, yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you went into the lineup for people who already paid for their console. We went into the lineup of shame for people who've only paid the deposit. Our line was faster than your guys' line.
Yeah.
Because every nerd before you was like buying the warranty, like buying every friggin' game on it, buying the camera.
And they were slow too. Like, I feel like, so your line, I think, must have not had their switches like allocated by the serial number, where I think if you had purchased it, it was, because they've ran it through the system already. So they needed to find the serial number. So our guy was literally running to the back, finding it, running back, and then just constantly doing that. It was insane how long it took.
That was weird. Yeah. We were out of the door and waiting for you. But it was crazy, man. Seeing there was one guy, two people ahead of me who just like, bro, this guy dumped money, man. I saw him go there. He got the camera. He got the Pro Controller. He got Cyberpunk. He got, I don't think he got the wheels, but I think he got like the carrying case. And he walked out and I'm like, holy smokes, bro. That's like $1,000 right there.
Yeah. But he's probably been saving it since the Switch 1 launch.
Well, there was another guy that I met there that had he bought Cyberpunk and he might have bought Yakuza 0. I don't know. But he basically told me, he's like, Switch is my only console. I don't like, he doesn't have a PS4, PS5, or an Xbox or anything, or a PC. So yeah, it makes sense. That's what this is for. Cyberpunk's on Switch now. You could play it on that. So, he went out and got it. It makes perfect sense. But it was fun, man. That was really fun. I have not done a console midnight launch, I think, ever in my life. Come to think of it.
Yeah.
I've never done one in my life. Mostly because before I would never buy a console on launch anyway. Because I couldn't afford it. And then PS5 and Series X. They were both COVID, so we didn't really have a lineup. It was
Yeah,
all
they were
online.
just pure
Yeah.
online sales.
The most recent midnight launch I've done was God of War Ragnarok, where they had a midnight launch for that.
Yeah, mine's
EB
Spider-Man.
Games. Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2. Definitely, I feel like the line was comparable. I feel like the Switch line was obviously longer because
I feel like I got my God of War faster.
yeah, I feel like I was in and out for that Spider-Man 2, but they also opened like at midnight versus we got what 2 hours earlier for the Switch 2 launch.
That is true.
So it definitely didn't feel that late. It definitely felt late when I was leaving your house, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you wanna? Yeah, frick. What time did you leave my house?
It was like 2 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty.
Yeah, we we were very
slept
into.
Like I had like prepared myself, so I like had a good night rest the night before, where I was like,
I did.
Okay, I got to prep myself for this midnight lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. I was so tired,
dude. My friends who we were communicating with at the time, they were at Market Mall and South Center, respectively. One of them, when I told them, hey, I'm leaving, I'm going to Sunridge, he's like, already? It was like around 9 o'clock. He's like, seems kind of early. I was like, I'd rather wait an hour in line between 9 and 10 than wait an hour in line after 10, right?
Yeah.
And bro, we were sitting there at my place playing Mario Kart, and on the group chat, they're still like, I haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah.
And it was at this point, it was like 1 o'clock. So
yeah. And it was raining too.
It was raining, yeah.
So
we got into the mall after it started raining, because when we picked up our Switches and went out, it wasn't raining. It was raining
drizzling
after.
A little bit, yeah.
But the people that were in line behind us, Jesus, they got screwed.
Yeah.
Okay, games we've been playing. Do you want to start, or should I start, or what?
Why don't we both discuss Mario Kart World, because that's definitely like
that's the big
launch title
game,
right?
Of the launch. Yeah, Mario Kart World. We both bought the bundle,
so
technically we paid $70 for it, not the 110. What are your first impressions on this Mario Kart? How do you feel?
I feel Knockout Tour, which is their new game mode, is great. Like, it adds a new sense of desperation and like competition to the whole thing. So I really enjoy that mode. That's probably my favorite mode. What's your take on Knockout Tour?
I love Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is such a fun game mode. It's so fun playing it multiplayer too.
Yeah, have you played much multiplayer?
Yes, I did. I played with my my sister-in-law and her husband the Thursday night, the night after the launch night. They came over, they played a little bit, and I feel like we played again some other time, some other iteration.
Do you think it was enough variety keep them interested more than like 2 rounds or 3 rounds? Because that's all I played with my sister and brother-in-law, and after that we're like, we're kind of like done.
Okay, so I'm gonna just backtrack a little bit. I have to preface this with something. I am not comparing this Mario Kart to anything else in the universe, because I have never played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which sounds crazy. I literally have never touched that game. It sounds crazy for someone that's like the most sold game with the Switch. It's always bundled with it. Like, everybody who has a Switch has played Mario Kart 8. I have not played Mario Kart 8. The reason why I haven't played Mario Kart 8, first of all, I gotta backtrack again. I'm not a Nintendo guy. I was never a Nintendo guy growing up. I've never had a Nintendo console growing up, except for handhelds. It's like DS and stuff like that. Always a PlayStation guy. The Switch one was not on my radar when it came out. Didn't care for it. My wife is the one who actually pressured me to buy a Switch for the house. And so I bought one, I believe, in 2019. She wanted Mario Kart, to which I remember having a conversation with her at the time saying, honey, this is the Wii U Mario Kart. They just ported it to the Switch. Just watch. The new Mario Kart will probably come out like next year or the year after. This was 2019. At the time, I did not know it would be 6 years until another Mario Kart came out. I had no clue. And by the time it became apparent that there was going to be no more Mario Kart on this console generation, I was like, well, I've waited this long. We might as well wait. So I do not have any Mario Kart background whatsoever. Not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, not any Mario Kart before that. The only Mario Kart I've ever played is, a few of my friends, they're Nintendo people. Sometimes we'll have a party, come over, somebody has a Switch, or we're back in the day, like a GameCube or whatever, or Wii, and we'll play on that. So I don't know anything about Mario Kart. Start off. So I went into this like blind. It is for sure not the most complicated racing game. Let's be quite honest. And I don't imagine it was more complicated before. It is drive. It's not like a sports sim. I was like trying to Gran Turismo this thing, and I was literally winning races, like trying to Gran Turismo this thing, like trying to get the right like driving apex, which kind of felt nice because I was winning 150cc races against the computer without like drifting or without like using items, just like Gran Turismoing it. So it was kind of nice that the game actually worked like that. Still, it still functioned if you tried to force like a, like I'm going on the outside before coming into the turn, hitting the apex coming out from the other end. I was doing that kind of stuff, right? So I really liked that I could do that, but then also I could drift and use items and stuff like that. I found that very fun. But in reality, it's a very simple game. It is not something complicated at all. I know the carts have different stats, and depending on what character you use, you have different stats. But really, it's just a very simple driving game, racing game. Nothing intense, nothing crazy. It is, I imagine, it is what it's always been. It's not like an actual like race sim or anything like that. So that's one thing. But I was extremely attracted to the way this game is presented. I love things that I hate is when I'm trying to play a game or trying to get into a game and I'm just hit by menus and settings and options and what game mode and what to do. That's one thing I hate in games. And then dialogue on like text that just keeps coming and seems like absolutely useless is another thing I hate. This game has none of that. It is so seamless to get into the game. You start it up, you're on the main menu. It says, do you want to play single player? Do you want to play local multiplayer? Do you want to play online? Or do you want to play, handheld, like from a distance, like local wireless with 2 switches? I found that perfect. It just tells you first, bro, which one do you want? Okay. What are you doing here today? You pick that, then it gives you want to do Grand Prix, you want to do Knockout Tour, you want to do whatever game modes. I loved that. And then I love the option at the bottom. It's like, here's your badges, here's your map. Now go do open world stuff. I love the presentation for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come into this game thinking I was going to play 100 hours of Mario Kart. I didn't come into this game thinking I'm, going to like get good online or whatever, or I'm going to play hours of this thing. I didn't even come into this game thinking I was like going to do all the content in it. I really came into this game saying this is going to be a fun party game to play with my friends every now and then. So I'm happy to say that I actually kind of want to play it single player myself. So I did all the Grand Prix races. If you do all of them and get a medal on at least one of them, you unlock a final race. And the final track of that race is Rainbow Road.
Of course.
It is beautiful. What a race. What a racetrack.
You've never played Rainbow Road for a long time.
I'm telling you, I'm virgin on when it comes to like Mario Kart.
Okay.
Like I really have no idea. So I was pleasantly surprised. There was one night. The game is really cathartic and zen too, for me. Like,
interesting. We have different takes to Mario Kart. I get so angry.
I found it very cathartic, very zen. And there was one night last weekend, dude, I lost track of time. I was up till 2 in the morning. I did all the Grand Prix races and I did a bunch of open world stuff. So in the open world, you just kind of drive around and then there's little different activities you could do, challenges, which I found very fun. Bro, I lost track of time. I was just like in Happy Land. And yeah, for what I was expecting it to be, it is really good. So I have nothing to compare it to. No better Mario Kart from the past to compare it to.
So that's your take as an entry by itself.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you my quick take. Knockout Tour, great, loved it. I find it hard to replay with the same people multiple times. I feel like people kind of get a little bit bored with Mario Kart.
Okay.
Which is fair. We also tried the Grand Prix mode. That was pretty fun as well. That's the standard Mario Kart. And then we tried Versus. Versus is like, all right. I find Versus isn't a map to play local. I think it's more fun if you actually play it online with like actual people.
Versus seems like it's just more like you're trying to curate your own race.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like a battle royale almost. Yeah, so honestly, Knockout Tour is the best part to it, I find, and it's definitely a welcome addition. Graphics look great. Open world, you seem to really enjoy it. I actually think it's not that great.
I guess I should put a caveat that I don't think this is the most stunning looking world that I really want to be in forever.
Mhm.
A lot of it looks very
The samey.
samey, and I actually get lost in it. I'm like, where am I exactly? Just because it looks really samey.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that crazy of a world. And the way the racetracks are connected, I just really love doing it with my son, and then doing it with myself is like a no-brainer kind of.
No-brainer activity. So yeah, I just find that the challenges that are on there are like, I don't know, they're not fun. Like some of it is a little bit challenging. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, I gotta hit this time trial, whatever. I wish it actually brought like some like larger scale races. Honestly, it feels like it's kind of lacking that you have an open world, but you don't have an actual like storyline to it, or like just something silly
Yeah,
like purpose, right? Like you can go around the map, you collect different costumes, which is fun. I think that was probably my favorite part to it. It was just like switching characters and then seeing what costumes you could unlock. Because the costume design is great. I love all the costume
yeah.
designs. I think Explorer Mario is like one of my favorite designs. Same with Explorer Toad with the little miner's light.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel like they tried to fill out the open world with stuff, but it is very samey,
I'm really
and you do
liking the
get lost.
challenges.
You do like the
Yeah,
challengers, hey?
I really love
Okay.
the challenges. I really like them. They're fun. They're kind of like hit my monkey brain of like challenge racetrack things from like PS2 era.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
I do agree. The world I don't think is particularly like that beautiful. It does feel very samey. It does feel like there's not a lot of like activities happening in the world.
Mhm.
Like I've seen the same car 100 times, right?
Yeah. Game chat.
Listen, I don't think.
Have you used game chat in Mario Kart at all?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, same here.
Listen, I don't think it's like mind blowing thing to have. I think it's a nice addition for game mode, especially for me and my kid. So yeah, but it's. I guess like I never came into this game thinking I was gonna sit for the next month and sink 100 hours into it. I came into this game thinking this is gonna be friends are over. This is gonna be play with my son. This is gonna be I'm bored. I have half an hour. Let me do a couple of challenges. Let me do a couple of races. I didn't think this was gonna be my life, or I was gonna play online or get competitive.
Yeah.
So
I think if you have that expectation and you know what you're paying for and what you're getting, then this game is like perfectly fine and it's definitely tailored for you. But I think the awkward penguin in the room is this game is $100 game.
it's $110 game.
$110 game or something like that, right? Like
$110 game for the hard copy in Canada and $100 for the digital.
if you don't get
I
it with the
cannot
bundle,
recommend.
I don't know
cannot
if I can
recommend.
say it's worth it.
No, I 100% agree. It is absurd to suggest this game deserves $110 for a physical edition or $100 for a digital edition. Either way, the bundle puts it at $70.
And that's I
Which
think
is
a fair
still a lot.
price.
That's yeah, it's digestible considering it's Mario and it's Nintendo first party.
Yeah. And
You know, it
and
has
the
the Mario
last
RPG.
entry was from like literally the Wii U.
Yeah,
So I get it. They want to make money off this console. The fact that it's $110 is just hard to swallow if you aren't getting it with a bundle.
no, I
Yeah,
agree.
and also I do want to say there wasn't that much stock of just the console itself. Most of the ones were the bundle.
Yeah. I do want to warn the listeners, if you're holding out on this thing thinking you're going to get a holiday deal on this, just listen. From experience, from two guys who literally sit there and know what these prices are, know the history of price increases and price drops, like this thing is not going to get a price drop. It's not going to get a sale on the holidays for a bundle, not in the first year. And I suspect that they will take Mario Kart out of the bundle, and there will no longer be a Mario Kart bundle for 700 Canadian dollars. It'll be the 630, buy the console and go buy Mario Kart for $110 if you want it. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think this is
I
a
don't think we'll
temporary
really see too much of a discount. Like if you plan on buying either this Mario Kart, Kirby Air Riders, Metroid, any of the announced releases within this
Even
year,
Dusk Bloods that comes out in 2026.
yeah,
Even Dusk
you're
Bloods,
better off just probably getting console as
Just
early
buy
as
it.
possible.
Just buy it now.
Yeah.
Buy it now. Even if it's going to sit in
It's not
collector's.
going to be different, and those other games I don't think will be bundled in. Like you were right in saying that those aren't the games that will be bundled in if there is a holiday sale. Yeah, I think they're gonna either scumbag you with some original Nintendo Switch game.
Yeah.
or
Legend of
it'll
Zelda
just
Breath of the
be,
Wild.
or they'll just let Mario Kart stay on the bundle until like next year after the holiday season.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Depends on what you're into. If you're a solo gamer, if you don't have friends coming over, or you don't have family playing this with you, or there's no want to really play this,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this game is going to hold you over for long enough. And if you're really a competitive racer, man, you're probably playing something more competitive. You're probably playing Gran Turismo or whatever.
Yeah, unless you specialize in Mario Kart, but then that's like different.
Then we don't need to be telling you this if you're already competitive in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Right? You're already bought the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is inventory. Inventory seems like it's pretty solid. It is no longer really available to purchase in store from what I've seen. There are like
Yeah.
some odd refreshes. I don't know if it's just people like returning their stock from like pre-orders and stuff like that, where they pre-ordered in multiple places and there's this returning kind of deal. But it seems like it is sold out, but it did satisfy the initial demand. I haven't heard any complaints of like scalpers overcharging like crazy and people not being able to pick up the consoles if they really, really wanted it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think the scalpers are getting burned on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like Nintendo made enough that
Yeah.
if you wanted one, you could have got one on day one.
Yeah, and you know, people are making fun of that because you know they feel like PS5 is superior because it was harder to get. I'd rather have more supply than demand.
PS5 didn't have supply. It was mid-COVID.
Yeah.
They would have supplied what they could. That is why it was so hard to get. That is why it was so hard to get like a year after it came out, a year and a half after it came out, is because there were a supply chain issues because of COVID.
Yeah, and demand
And
was
chip
high
shortages.
as well.
And chip
Everybody was
shortage-
at
and
home,
exactly because everyone's at home. Yeah, that is why you couldn't get a PS5. It's not like it was selling faster than this thing.
right? Yeah. So I'm glad Nintendo did make enough for everybody, and I'm glad everybody that wanted a console day one got a console day one, and that's what really matters. All right.
Derwin, have you been playing any other games?
Yes.
On this thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have
Please give us
any other games?
I
as
do.
well?
I kind of
Okay.
want to talk about. I want to talk about the other games that are
Okay,
listed.
so I went back to Luigi's Mansion 3. That is a game that's not patched. I really just wanted to give it another try because I didn't come close to finishing it on the original Switch. And I do have to say it is a treat playing it handheld on a better screen, even though I had the OLED. But I just feel like the screen being bigger just made it so much more entertaining to play. And it runs smooth as butter. Battery life is pretty solid with it, even though the battery life isn't great on the Switch 2 games. But battery life on the Switch 1 game seems to not really be an issue. And I just wish it was higher FPS, is all I had to say. But it's an enjoyable experience so far.
I do remember when the Switch first came out and they were showing the ones that were backwards compatible and they said only a certain amount, people were freaking out, including us, about backwards compatibility with the Switch 1. It seemed like most of the games were unknown. I think Nintendo has since been testing a lot of the games and has been doing a lot of quiet patches to get them to work on Switch 1, and a lot of them have since been tested and they work just fine. So I think most of the Switch 1 games actually work with Switch 2. Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to get a visual upgrade or a fidelity upgrade, but
yeah, I'm just glad that it runs smooth and solid and it looks good for a game that came out, I think in 2019.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
No, Luigi's
2018?
Mansion 3 was 2020, I think, or 2021. For some reason, I remember that. I don't think it was that old.
I thought it was 2019.
Luigi's Mansion 3 is a
29 October 31st,
right.
2019. So it was a little bit late.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it still looks great, and it looks amazing on that screen.
That's good. Have you been playing anything else?
No, just those two. I've sold all my Zelda games because I don't really think I want to revisit that. Even though they've got patches, I just feel like I don't know, with the Zelda games, I get into it and then I just like stop and I can never finish them, so I'm not gonna bother.
Okay. I've been playing a few other things. I do want to talk about it. I want to, but before I start, I want to circle to like what the launch lineup was. I think if you are exclusively a Nintendo player and you exclusively had the Switch, and over the last few years you've been burnt out on a lot of AAA third-party stuff not coming to your platform, I think you're in heaven right now, right? and it's just going to get better. And I think you're going to get most AAA third-party games on your console moving forward, if not all, with this console. For us who have other platforms to play on, like you have a PC, so you could play anything on Steam. I have the Steam Deck, which gives me some access to Steam and whatever, Epic Games Store, GOG, etc. We both have PS5s. You don't all no longer have a Series X, but you did at whatever.
Yeah, but a PC is anything's an Xbox now.
We have the choice of playing games wherever we want. And up until now, I was never burnt out on any game. Like any game that came out on whatever platform, exclusive or not, I had access to playing it, right? In the way I wanted to. So as a result, some of this stuff doesn't really do anything for me. I did think about buying some of this stuff. Me and Alex, actually, we were in line. We were looking at the little flyer that they gave us for all the hardware and all the
you've got the flyer still, nice.
Thing. Yeah, and we were just staring at it, and I'm like, I want to buy something else, but I couldn't justify it because like, what do I buy, right? So the launch lineup had a lot of stuff that I could play somewhere else for cheaper, or that I already own somewhere else, or that I've already played. So it was kind of like, I'm not gonna just buy it just to review it on the Switch, really.
Mm-hmm.
So the launch lineup itself was 27 games. Mario Kart World, of course, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which we both agreed we were not picking up.
Yes.
And word on the street is it's an absolute abomination.
You need
an
accessory. It's all the accessories in order to 100% the game,
to actually
right?
100% complete it. Yeah. You need the camera and you need something else. You need the Pro Controller to get the most out of it.
That's insane.
Yeah. So it is currently at 52 on Metacritic from 24 critic reviews, and it is 3.5 user score on Metacritic. So obviously that was a no. We come into the Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild upgrades. I obviously have copies for both those games.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, let me try and see what Breath of the Wild looks like. You were there at my house when I booted it up. I want to go back and do a comparison with the Switch 1, but that did not look like it was worth $15, that visual upgrade. I didn't really even notice anything. The textures look the same. HDR, from the Switch itself is good, but I don't know. The frame rate looked smooth, but I don't know. I am not going to go turn around and recommend to anyone, especially if you've already played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, to go buy those upgrades for $15. I don't know. That did not seem like that should have been a free patch to me. So that was one of the things I played, booted that up right away. You were there with me. I think we both thought the same thing there. I do want to maybe one day when I'm a little bit free, try it back on my Switch 1, which I still have, and try on my Switch 2 and see what it looks like.
Oh, dude. I don't think you remember how bad it looks like on the dock. I remember.
Maybe that's what I'm starting to think. I'm thinking maybe Tears of Breath of the Wild looked bad on my Switch 2, but it actually looks way worse on my Switch.
Oh yeah. It looks so bad on the Switch 1, even if, like, especially when it's docked, because you can see how bad the textures would be versus the Switch 2. Like, I look at the Switch 2 and it's a huge upgrade.
Yeah. I'm curious. I want to see, maybe Digital Foundry's done a video or something. But otherwise, going through this list, Street Fighter 6, I could play it on PS5 if I really wanted to, right? Not paying extra for this. I could buy it on sale for that. Deltarune, a game I'm interested in. I am literally just waiting for reviews to come out for this one. I can also play this on other platforms, but it makes no difference. It's just coming out. I might as well play it on the Switch. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, not really into that, and the reviews aren't great. They're out. Fast Fusion, which is a game that also dropped for this. I could also play it on the Steam Deck if I'm not mistaken. But I think I'm going to get this one. This is like the spiritual successor to, what's that? Like PlayStation racing game where they're in I forgot it. The PS1 game. Ridge Racer? No. Is that it? No, not Ridge Racer. That's something else. Anyway, I think I'm going to try that one. I literally was just going to buy it before this. Bravely Default. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's good. Not really my type of game. Hitman. I just picked up Hitman for literally free on Steam a week ago. So, no. Split Fiction. Just beat it with my wife on the PS5. Hogwarts Legacy. Own it on the PS5. Yakuza 0. Yeah, I know this is the director's cut. Do I want to pay $90 for it? I bought the game for $5 on PlayStation.
Yeah, just pay $15 for DLC pack if they make it available, right?
Yeah. Civ 7, I don't know. Maybe I could try the mouse controls on that one. Whatever. Cyberpunk, $100 for Cyberpunk. It was literally on sale on Steam for 60 with the DLC. So Guardians of Azuma, something I'm not into. Survival Kids, not really great reviews. I wanted to cop Nobunaga's Ambition.
Yeah, for the
It's
mouse
like
control.
a $90. It's a $90 game, man.
Jeez.
So I was like, maybe not. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remastered, also not my type of game. Sonic Plus Shadows, Generations. Also, I could buy that on the PS5 for less. Kinutsugami Path of the Goddess, it's on Game Pass. Fortnite, no thanks. Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time, not my thing. No Man's Sky, also I own it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't the craziest launch lineup. So I've been really waiting to get reviews for Deltarune and to get reviews for Fast Fusion. Just those were the only two games that I thought I'd pick up. And then the GameCube games, F-Zero GX, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2. Any interest in getting into those, Derwin?
Wind Waker is definitely potentially something I'm interested in. I'm more waiting for the Pokemon Coliseum and Gale.
Yeah, I wanted to wait till they put more things on that GameCube for the Nintendo Switch Online before I subscribed. And then I also wished I just didn't buy that upgrade for Breath of the Wild and just tried it
on the upgrade.
On the
yeah.
subscription.
Yeah, I shout out to Nicole. I just leech off hers and and thank you for letting me play Pokemon.
Greaser. So yeah. That's my only problem with the Switch. I don't see the lineup is not good for me. I'm not saying the lineup is bad, the launch lineup, but it's just not great for me. I don't see anything else that's going to hold me over. I know we're going to get that update for Mario Party Jamboree, which I'm interested to look into. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I'm very skeptical of that game, unless it's the Mario Odyssey team and it's confirmed that it's them. I am very skeptical of that game. I'm going to have to wait for reviews. I don't know if I want to dish out the money for that, especially if it's a 7 or an 8, you know? Because if I see critics score 8 for a Nintendo game, it means that people reviewing it are like...
Yeah, they're just Nintendo fans.
So it's actually really a 7. I usually dock a score off.
Yeah. Unless it's like literally a perfect 10 out of 10, then you know it's actually like good. And then any like mid-range score is probably a little bit skewed.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
So I don't know. Waiting for Metroid Prime 4. That's really the big thing I'm waiting for. And that Kirby Ridge Racer.
And Dusk
Bloods.
Bloods.
That's about. Dusk Bloods is 2026, so it's a ways out. So
I mean, Kirby might be a ways out too. You never know.
They said it was this year.
We saw nothing. We saw Kirby's flying around on stars.
Dude, I don't give a damn about Kirby Ridge Racer if it was, or whatever it's called, Ridge Racer? Kirby's
Air Riders.
Air Riders. I keep calling Ridge Racer, which is this game from freaking when was the first one? This PlayStation 1 game from back in the day, 1993. No, yeah, Kirby Air Riders is not that interesting to me from what I've seen, but it has Sakurai's name attached to it, so yeah.
And some little bonus score.
Any other thoughts? Do you want to shut this down? And we are recording another episode right after this because this week has been busy.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I think we've said what we've said about the Switch.
Yes.
Do you regret your purchase at all with the Switch 2?
Theoretically, I could have waited. I don't need this thing right now. Like, I really don't. Like, it's just Mario Party. Like I told you, I went through the list of games. We'll see what Donkey Kong Bonanza looks like. But until Metroid Prime 4 comes out, I really don't need this thing right now. But what's the point of waiting? It's not going to get cheaper. I'm not going to get a better deal. I'm not going to get the bundle with something else. Really, what's the point of waiting? I haven't waited for any consoles this console generation, and it's paid off. The Series X is more expensive than when I bought it in 2021. So when I bought a Series X in 22. The PS5 is more expensive than when I bought it on launch. What's the point? Like, it makes no difference, even if it sits and collects dust. I know I'm going to eventually use it for Metroid Prime 4. I know I'm going to eventually use it for
some sort of
Dusk
party
Bloods.
game. Yeah.
And I know I'm going to use it for the next Mario Party, the next 3D Mario, which hopefully is close as soon. I really don't want to wait anymore for that. You know, I'll use it for the next 2D Mario. I might go back and like try 100% Mario Wonder. And yeah. My only disappointment is I thought like I would see Breath of the Wild on this thing and I'd immediately want to play Breath of the Wild and then Tears of the Kingdom. That didn't happen.
Yeah. I would say I'm on the same boat. I definitely didn't need this console like day one.
No.
But the fact that I was able to get it, yeah, I mean, I'll take it. Like I I think it's an eventuality that I would have bought this, and might as well just try and cash in on trade-in deal than nothing. Well,
So,
stay tuned
well,
to see all the bloopers and not bloopers, I guess, all the videos and pictures that we took
the
for that.
unboxing.
Oh,
You're gonna put that at the end of the video.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that at the end of this video.
Okay, that's
yeah.
pretty sweet. Put that at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, it
and
won't be the
maybe,
full
use
3-minute video where you try and give away your claimed Mario Kart World code.
yeah.
But we'll give
Yeah,
give you some snippets. We were clearly not ready for an unboxing, and we just really felt like we should just get our excitement for
It was pretty
unboxing
impulsive.
it.
It was like on the spot.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. What was? And make sure you use one of the photos for the.
But yeah,
photos
don't
to take
worry.
videos. Got it.
Don't worry. We got your ultimate gamer dad pose.
Perfect. Nice.
It's amazing.
Oh my god, that's gonna be fun. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Remember, if you like what you hear, like and subscribe on Instagram and wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts at the Slow Run Cast, same place everywhere. And message us if you have any questions, comments, or any things you want to recommend. Stay tuned. We're sorry that this episode dropped. It's probably going to drop 5 days later than we usually do, right? We did give them 2 bonus episodes
back to back,
the last
and
2
then
weeks.
technically this week will be a back to back episode.
Yeah, so we did give them Claire Obscure spoiler cast, and we gave them a Summer Games Fest predictions episode. So cut us some slack. And we're gonna give them an episode after this because the other thing that happened this week was Summer Games Fest. So we'll get all into that and all the cool announcements from that. But thanks for joining us, and we are out. Welcome back to another episode of the Slow Run Cast. Today we are unboxing our precious Nintendo Switch 2s. Should I grade the box? Should I send it to PSA to grade unopened Switch 2 box?
Yeah, you should.
Absolutely not. Let's get this over with. It is 11:15 Mountain Time on a Thursday.
Oh, look. Mo got his...
I got my wheels, and I got the Pro Controller. Derwin got his copy of Cyber... I'm just kidding. $100. You didn't get anything else? You didn't get the warranty for $150, Derwin?
No, I did not get the warranty for...
Alright, this is gonna need...
Oh, I've got his keys. Not in a tank today.
Surprisingly. Look at that.
Primo.
See, I even have the sticker. I can keep it
Yeah, you can keep it. You can reseal it and then sell it.
resealed. And then sell it empty.
Just put a bunch of sandbags in it.
So Derwin's unboxing his Switch 2, but he's gonna like pack it back up and take it home
Yeah.
in 2 seconds.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
look at that, look at that. This is pristine. Holy smokes, it's giving you instructions how to plug the thing in. Plug in, set up.
You mean I didn't have to buy a $15 tutorial to tell me how to plug it in?
No, you did not. The Nintendo Switch 2. Right there. Looking beautiful. Dude, look at that. So they said the first thing to do is to peel off that cover.
Yeah, you should give it a try.
Holy smokes, the screen looks mint, man.
Yeah.
Looks pretty nice.
Power plug is separated. So you don't...
Look at those Joy-Cons, baby. The Nintendo Switch 2, finally here in our hands. Next, we just need Bloodborne and GTA 6.
There's the new attachment.
Oh, Derwin.
What, did you get stick drift?
Oh,
How satisfying is
oh, look at that, look at that. Oh my god.
Mine unboxed.
These are strong magnets.
Hold on,
here.
I gotta put a screen protector on mine. Day 1.
And as you suspected, folks, the Steam Deck feels better to hold.
Oh, where's your Steam Deck? Where is it?
Oh, we'll grab it now. This monitor.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I'm not gonna care for a piece of plastic, dude.
You don't want to put it back together once
No,
you
I
return
don't.
it because you got the $150 warranty. Oh, look at that, baby.
Yeah.
How do I unattach these? Ooh,
There's that
look,
button.
look at that. Wow.
I gotta put screen protector on mine first, dude.
Come on, bro, just relax. It's not
No, I'm gonna get scratched day one, and then I'll never be able to live with myself ever again.
Ooh. These feel good. I'm not gonna lie. The thunder is not playing.
I don't know. Sounds bad.
Okay. What else do we have here? We have USB-C with a charging adapter. With finally, what is this? Ooh, the dock.
How's the dock look?
Oh, look at that. Holy smokes, bro! This is big.
Yeah, it looks bigger than the OG dock for sure.
I think so. Oh.
Is it a HDMI 2.1 cable?
Didn't they already say that it was that?
I assumed it would be.
It doesn't actually say here. I actually don't see the HDMI cable here. It doesn't come with an HDMI cable?
Are you kidding me?
Jeez.
No way.
Jeez, Nintendo, look at it in the dock. Beauty.
Oh, it looks way better.
Oh. Ethernet cable too, but I guess they added that to the OLED, right?
Yeah, they did for the OLED one. It was like one of the selling features.
Beautiful.
All right.
I like this one in the Switch adapter. Oh,
Yeah, the old one was real ass, to be honest.
it's freaking brick. Alright.
Gotta get my screen protector on first.
Come on. We don't got time. We don't got time for your stream preview.
Oh, we should have turned it on to set up the download
Yeah,
first.
that's a good point.
Okay, I'm gonna turn mine on right away. There.
I got one more thing to look at, which is right here.
Nope, seriously, no HDMI cable?
Unless it's in here, there is. No,
There must be
There
one.
is one right back there. Oh, because they also have the straps.
What's that?
Straps for the Joy-Cons.
Oh, we didn't have to pay separate for that.
I thought those were separate, and I was like, oh, jeez, are you serious?
Alright, let's attach these. Oh, that's
Feels good.
satisfying. Oh, that's satisfying.